What's going on, everybody? Texas Red Leg here, out of town. Just wanted to throw a video together for you guys and gals. Sort of just some couple different topics that are on my mind. I'm sure it was on y'all's mind as well. First one being, is this the final countdown before WW3? It sounds to me like it could go either way. And I can tell you from experience, when you have this much military buildup, this much logistics, this much rhetoric, this much troop movements around the world, accidents happen and somebody's going to screw something up. It's a matter of time. And whether it's releasing something that shouldn't be released or taking a wrong turn down the road to, pulling a trigger when you're not supposed to pull a trigger, pointing a weapon at somebody you shouldn't be pointing a weapon at, etc. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong when you have this much equipment, personnel all over the world that is in a position of, aggressiveness, and something to really think about and just be aware of. Accidents happen all the time, training accidents. I'm just saying, when you have that many military units and personnel and equipment being moved around, stationed, positioned, maneuvering, it's easy for things to go wrong. And that may be all it takes, to kick something off. But, during this time of, I'm going to call it an economic downturn at this point, which, it certainly is likely worse than that. But to be completely fair, I'm going to call it an economic downturn. During those times, typically it's a war that gets you out of it. And we've certainly experienced a good part of that ourselves, throughout history. And, it's just a fact of life. And people that don't think that this thing can kick off at the drop of a hat, you're crazy. I'll tell you right now, you're crazy. It's not really about nukes. I mean, we've got nukes, they've got nukes. I mean, they would really have to launch everything they got at one time and be real secretive about it to make it happen. And I hope that we have people, that are awake at the switch and watching all the screens they need to be watching and gathering all the intel they need to be gathering, because it seems to me like we're at a pretty good disadvantage. And as a veteran, that hurts me to say. So economic downturn, this continued pandemic, it's just going to keep continuing. You can bet on it. And then the shortages of supplies, military supplies and otherwise. They've got this thing hanging by a thread. And I'm just saying, a lot of us are talking about being prepared, and there's only so much you can prepare for, as a civilian without experience and training. There's only so much that you can be prepared for, and I feel blessed and lucky that I have experience, in the armed services, to an extent where I feel pretty confident in being able to, defend conventionally, of course, to a certain extent, but let's pray, hope it doesn't come to that. But I know a lot of you out there in the same boat, and you are thankful for your training and your ability to prepare, and being able to stockpile things that can get you through a hard time such as that. And a lot of the people on here are just running their mouth and talking trash and this and that, and buying up everything they can buy up, and it's good to a certain extent, but you got to be able to implement things and to strategize and to make decisions rapidly, to be good at this game, and or be with somebody that knows how to do those things. So I would just really ensure that you've got as good a grip on this thing as you can from your perspective. And if you if you don't have any training or military training, or know anybody that close to you that is, you might want to reach out to some people and gather some ideas and advice from people that are in the know. I know there's a lot of people on these channels that are willing to help you. Just reach out, and if you're in doubt and you need a good direction, it's not always about throwing money at stuff. It's oftentimes about just talking and learning and having a plan, and a simple plan. So keep that in mind going forward. And I'll tell you something else. I was on my way from Dallas to San Antonio today, driving and on I-35, and I cannot tell you the amount of moving trucks and moving trailers, out of state plates that I lost count. I mean, when I got to Austin, I had to stop count. It was everywhere, everything heading south. So that's a sign of good and bad, I think. Hopefully good, most of it, but there's a lot of people moving here, and I just hope they're doing it for the right reasons. And so we got plenty of room for patriots down here, but if you're going to come down here, we need you to vote the right way, and not that everything that the conservative side does is golden, that's for sure. But if you're a freedom-loving patriot and you value the Constitution, I think you know who we're looking for down here. So we appreciate people that move down here to pull the wagon in the same direction, I guess you might say. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that because, good Lord, it was just crazy. One after the other, I was just passing. I just everywhere from New Hampshire, California. I mean, just anywhere in between. There was just every state almost I could count when I flew by them or they flew by me. But I talked about it before in a previous video. If you're in a place where it's just not going to change, you are hell bent to be a patriot and you value the Constitution and freedom, you probably need to pick up a move unless you're willing to fight for your rights and all that. So anyway, hope everybody's having a good week, a good start to their week. Times are tough. Christmas week, here, and I would be careful about being out in public. They busted some Saudi at the southern border impersonating a ambulance or an EMT driver, or EMT or an ambulance driver. He had some sort of uniform on, thinking he was just gonna slip through or whatever. And apparently he was a person of interest and or knew some people that were also persons of interest to the U.S. government. So that was good. But that's just one that we know about, that doesn't count the ones that have slipped by that we don't know about. So anyway, keep us in your prayers down here. Of course, whatever affects us is going to affect all of you north of here as well. So anyway, I hope everybody has a great week and that you're prepared for the holidays and you're willing to, get the things done you need to get done, and have yourself a nice Christmas and New Year's. I know I sure hope that for everybody. and be on your toes when you're out in public. This is the time of year they like to hit stuff. So lots of people out and about, lots of people spending money, lots of people with, you know, Santa on their mind instead of other things. So keep your eyes open and your ears up. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep, and long live the Republic.